Hello everyone, welcome back to another deck review, and as promised I have my Scandinavian armored deck, and this is definitely an amazing deck. I have not tried it out. I actually did it once, but that was not really upload worthy. It was just, the enemy just basically spammed artillery, and it was like a 50-minute game that resulted into a draw and like minimal kills and deaths, so that was just really boring. But yeah, amazing tanks. Some of the newest tanks are just epic, but we're gonna go through that as soon as we get some of these units reviewed. So logistics, we only have one command, as you can see. We have the STRV-103B, basically a tank command, and this deck is only focused to fight tank battles. Alright, so I only have one command, and you know, better make that a really good command. But yeah, 150 point tank command with 15 rounds per minute cannon. Not really meant to fight with this tank, but if something gets close, it will be able to deal some sort of damage. And on top of that, it has a good LMG if infantry gets close enough. 12 front armor, 4 side, 2 back, and 2 top. Not the best top armor. I was looking for something with, you know, like 4 or 5 top armor, but there's just nothing with that, with those stats. So that's kind of sad. But yeah, this is basically the heaviest that you can get, so I just went for that. 150 points is pretty good investment. Then we have some supplies, just the Jupiter and the HKP for a supply heli. You can also go for the newer one, the 45.1, but I just, you know, this is more than enough. 30 points for 1,000. It does go 270 versus 300, so that's a big difference. But yeah, I just like to minimize risk, so if this one gets shut down, it's only 30 points and 1,000 supplies. This one is 45 point, 1,500 floating fob, so I'd rather not let this guy be shot down. Or risk that guy being shot down. So, infantry section. We have our best infantry that we can go with, the Panzerskit 90, or Panzerskittles 90, in the STRF 9040, and this is a pretty good unit. It does come with the 84 with 20 rounds per minute, 19 AP, so that's just amazing. 700 meters range on that. They have the AK-4, which is a really good assault rifle as well, and battle rifle I should say. And on top of that, they have the M58 LMG. So really nice stats, and this 84 can just wreck enemy tanks in like no time. But yeah, they have the STRF 9040 as well with a 40mm Bofors cannon. Really formidable vehicle. 4 front armor, 60% accuracy on that cannon as well. And actually it has the same amount of top armor as our tank command, so that's a really good unit. Then we have the Panzerskit 90, the same units, and the PBV 3025, or wow, 302A. Also comes with a 20mm cannon, but that's really just, you know, an extra basically. I might as well go for the, actually you cannot go for something cheaper. So yeah, we didn't really have a choice there, did we? Yeah, the 20mm cannon does not have the best stats, 15% accuracy, but you know, if something gets nearby, a transport or something, it will be able to do some sort of damage. But yeah, same stats as the previous Panzerskite, of course, it's just the same unit. Then we have some RBS 56 ATGMs, also in STRF 9040s. I just like to use these guys a lot, just scatter them around. Really amazing ATGMs, 50% accuracy, 26 AP on that, but not the best range. It has the same range as a maxed out tank cannon. So you need to be really careful with these guys, and only fire when the enemy is like panicked, or only fire from a town or something. Then we have some RBS 90 manpads, 2800 meters range on helis, 55% stabilizer or accuracy, and I put them on hardened because I really want to make sure that they hit with their first shot and just wreck the enemy. Only 4 HE, so it will need like 2 shots on the basic helicopter to kill. Then the support section. I actually did some research on these EOTS Hawks, and they are actually non-radar, like optical guided laser, I don't know, something guided, which gives them that superior accuracy. But really nice, I think it's electro-optical guidance system, I don't know. But yeah, really nice AAPs. Initially I thought that it was actually radar and this was just a bug, so I didn't really use it. But it turned out it's actually a really good AAP, so I just went for 4 hardened to give it that extra accuracy boost. 60% is already good, but if you calculate the ECM in that equation that the enemy planes have, it just misses like half of the shots. So I just went for hardened to give him that extra boost in accuracy. Then a little bit cheaper and a little bit lower ranged AA, the Noah, basically the same as the EOTS Hawk, but with well, basically the same accuracy as well, but with slightly less range. We can actually compare them right now. So the EOTS Hawk does have less range in terms of, like, well, the range on helis is less, 175 meters less, but the range on airplanes is actually the same. What the hell? What did they do to this thing? Oh, okay, so the only difference basically that it's non-radar. I did not really expect that. I thought it had longer range as well. They might have changed that, or I'm just drunk now. But yeah, the Noah and the EOTS Hawk next to each other. So for 5 points extra, you get an AA piece that is non-radar but has less range, and I think that's actually worth it. Just put these guys close to the front. Enemy will just keep surrendering seed planes after seed planes, and we'll just pluck them out of the sky. And just put these Noahs further back so that these guys stun the enemy seaplanes, and if they don't kill it, the Noahs will finish them off. And as for gun AA, we have the automatic, of course, one of the newest AA pieces. It's really, really powerful. I don't like to use the term overpowered. It's just a really good and strong unit. Almost 3k range on helis and airplanes, and it has 55% stabilizer, 12 AP, and 3 HE. 60 rounds per minute as well, so a shot per second basically. Then we have the AMOS, a new mortar piece, a dual or 2-barrel mortar piece. Really good unit, fires insanely quick, really tight spread, 5 HE on that as well, and pretty good range as well. So that's just a really good unit, and it also fires at the units that are nearby by just aiming down that cannon. It looks like a tank from Generals actually. I don't know if you guys know that tank. It's like a Chinese tank, but of course that tank is like 20 times bigger. Anyway. As for long-range artillery, we have the M270 cluster with 6 AP cluster munition. We went for the cluster because, well, obviously we're playing with a tank deck, an armored deck, and you will probably face off a enemy armored deck as well. So cluster munition might really help out a lot. If you don't like cluster, you can also go for the long-range artillery. We have the M109 here, the Danish one, or you can go for. Actually, that's the same AA RT piece. Yeah, it is the same RT piece. So yeah, just go for these M109s if you don't like cluster, and just play around with those. Also do a lot of damage to tanks because that's 7 HE. So that's really good way to stun the enemy before you move in as well. If you want something with a fast rate of fire, you can go for the Bekannt 1As. These do a heckload of damage as well. 7 HE, just like the M109s, but with a wider spread. Same range, I believe. Yep. And yeah, just a pretty good unit, 12 rounds per minute, that's just sick. Then, the tank section, really where this deck really, well, basically is about, or is built around. First I basically built a tank section, and then I needed to delete some tanks since I didn't have any points left. But yeah, we have the Leo 185 NO2, the one of the newest tanks in Red Dragon. Pretty decent stats. But the main purpose for this tank is to basically stay behind our elite tanks and just, you know, just try to pick off the enemy or deal some sort of damage. It does have a 17% or 17 AP cannon, 65% accuracy on that, so that's a really good tank. Turret is amazing, front armor is kind of good, 12 front armor, but I wouldn't really recommend using this in a tank v tank battle. Then we have something a bit heavier, 10 points extra, gives you 15 rounds per minute instead of 10, gives you 1 more front armor, 16 AP instead of 17, so that's not really that bad. Less accuracy and no stabilizer, but this tank in ambush position, or you know, just in front or behind your most elite tanks, will just wreck the enemy with that 15 rounds per minute. I think I already uploaded a game with when I use these tanks, so go make sure you check that out. I think it's number 56 or something. It was on Hop and Glory, so go make sure you check that out if you want to see these things in action. But yeah, we have 16 of them on Elite, the STRV 103Cs, really good stats overall. But if you want something a bit more heavier than that, we have the STRV 103D with extra side armor and also extra front armor. We can actually compare them if you want. So here's the newer tank, here's the older tank. Newer tank, more accuracy, 5 points more, or 5% more, 1 more AP, same HE and suppression, same rounds per minute, 2 more front armor, so that's 15 front armor, which is already really good. And on top of that has the same LMG. Then we have the big boy here, the Leo 2A4 with the Leo 2A5 cannon. 19 front armor, 9 side armor, 120mm cannon with 65% stabilizer, 65% accuracy I should say, 60% stabilizer and 23 AP. That's just an immense tank right here. So yeah, if I were to position these guys in an open field against other tanks, I would put the STRV 121s. Actually, I would probably put these STRV 103Ds in the front. Like some of them, not all of them. Just put like 3 of them in the front. STRV 121s behind those, just behind those. And you know, basically to finish off the enemy with those cannons. And behind those tanks, I would put the weaker STRVs. And finally, the Leo 185s. Don't put your heaviest tanks in the front. That's not necessarily the best idea, because although this cannon or this tank has a pretty amazing cannon, like as soon as they are worried or they get panicked, they just don't hit for shit. And you know, these guys won't have enough firepower to take down some of the heavier Red 4 tanks. So yeah, just, you know, keep some medium tanks in the front and keep these guys calm and steady, and you know, hit with every shot basically and finish off the enemy. And just you know, as I said, the Leo 185 NO2 in the back, or to support your infantry somewhere. Then the recon section, we have the little bird here, the Cayuse, with very good optics, very small sized heli, 4 strength though, so make sure that you are way away from enemy AA pieces. 4 strength basically means you go down from a single shot. Then we have some recon infantry, the Spetsderne. They come in the, what is it, the Lynx. A pretty good loadout, not the best RPG, so make sure you get close when you fire these. Only to have the basically G3 battle rifle and no secondary weapon. Then as for recon on the ground, we have the Wildcat, or the Veldkat, but it's basically a Wildcat. 25mm cannon on there, good optics, not the best. It is amphibious, so you will be able to be like a sneaky guy and just do an amphibious landing somewhere and look for those commands and take them out with that 25mm cannon. But yeah, really good unit overall, pretty fast on and off-road. It's basically to give you some sort of recon information. But yeah, most of the time I will probably just use a heli recon. Or no recon at all. And then to support our tanks, we have some ATGMs, the NM142 with the TOW 2 missiles, 25 AP on that, 70% accuracy, just an amazing ATGM vehicle. Pretty fast on and off-road. Off-road, it might be wiser to go for something a bit faster though, in case you are fighting enemy tanks that are fast. But there's nothing faster that you can go for in this deck. So just this is just the best ATGM you can go for. I just went for 5 of them on hardened. Then we have some tank destroyers, 35-point tank destroyers with a really good cannon, 16 AP cannon with that. So yeah, this just one of the best price performance tank destroyers I've seen. The PTZ-89 is the best one in my opinion, the Chinese one that is, because it has like 21 AP I believe. But yeah, this thing is really good, 35 points, just put him in ambush position and they will just wreck the enemy tanks. Then the heli section, we have the TOW 2s, basically just the only unit I have in this tab. But just a really good just a really good TOW unit, 25 AP on those TOW 2s, just like the vehicles. Same accuracy and range and all, but 50% stabilizer, so it will be able to fire on the go. And the good thing about this heli is that it is very small and really fast, and 6 strength, so it will be able to take some sort of hits before it goes down. Then the plane, the newest, or one of the newest planes that we got with the DLC was the F-16AM, and this is definitely a really good plane. Basically the same stats as the F-4F KWS of the West Germans, but it's a bit more pricey since it goes 1,000 kilometers per hour, has a turn radius of 300 meters instead of 400. But yeah, it just has really nice missiles, fire and forget AMRAAMs, long range AA pieces, and fire and forget sidewinders. And on top of that, a 20mm Vulcan, so just really good plane. Then to back that up, we have the lower tier F-16s. Actually, it's not even lower tier. In some ways, this F-16 Block 15 is better than the F-16 AM, which would be in a dogfight. But yeah, if we actually compare them right here, you can see that the Block 15 has better sidewinders. You have the M9Ms. These have more range, better accuracy, better stabilizer, more HE and all, and more suppression. So that's a really, really big plus if you go for the F-16 Block 15. It has the same Fire and Forget MRAMs, or actually, it does not have Fire and Forget MRAMs. It has semi-active Sparrows with less accuracy, stabilizer, but with more HE and more suppression. So that's just really amazing. And on top of that, it has the same 20mm Vulcan, 30% ECM instead of 40, 1,000 kilometers per hour, just like the F-16, and the same turn radius. How I would use these planes is basically put the F-16 Block 15 in the front, give it a chance to stun the enemy plane with that 6 HE, and then finish off the enemy with your F-16 AM. You know, if the F-15 gets shot down, it's probably 120 points versus like 180 point PU or something, and you will just bring that down with your F-16 AM. Then, as for ATGM helis, planes, we have the F-16A Malu. It's actually MLU, but I just call it the Malu. It has 4 Mavericks, so it will be able to take down whatever you target. It has 4 MRAM Fire and Forget missiles as well on top of that. And it also has a 20mm Vulcan. So basically everything in this deck, everything in the first 3 slots, is basically an air superiority fighter. It has like a 20mm Vulcan and a really good missile. But yeah, then we went for the F5A Puff. I really didn't want to do it because I just want F-16s only. But my dream was quickly destroyed when I found out that F-16s don't have seed in this deck. So that was a sad day for all. But yeah, the F5A Puff, 2 seed missiles on that. And on top of that, it has 2 sidewinders as well, 30% ECM, very good air detection, and 750 kilometers per hour, which is actually a good thing because the turn radius, well, actually not the turn radius, but when it fires, the missile will hit, well, the missile will still be, actually, how can I explain this? Basically, if I go towards a kid with a ball in my hand, like a football, and I go 10 kilometers per hour and I throw it at his face versus me going 5 kilometers per hour and throwing it at his face, I will be further away from the enemy when I go slower. If you that was a weird comparison, but you get the idea. So speed 750 kilometers per hour is actually a good thing in some cases, but it's not a good thing when you're evac. But yeah, just think about the you know, throwing a ball in a kid's face and you will be fine. Then we have the CF-104 with 3 napalm bombers, and this is basically to block off the enemy's advance so that my tanks get in position. But yeah, that was it for the Scandinavian armored deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this will be useful to you in your future battles. Just try it out. Deck code is down in the description. And yeah, just do all the good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys back in the next one.